بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum, my third standard students. Welcome to the second semester for your English book, The Traveller 6. And today we start with Unit 2 and we start with reading. So, as usual, today we will learn three things. The first objective is to read fluently, 2, to enrich ourselves with new vocabulary, and 3, to search for specific information. So as for number 1, I'm going to read for you, and you may practice reading after me some text about space. And 2, in the text we will have some vocabulary in red. I'm going to ask you about these new vocabulary, so you will try to guess the meaning through the context. And finally, we will try to scan and skim and look for specific information from the text. So take a look at this photo to the right. It looks like an alien or an extraterrestrial coming with his spaceship roaming over the Earth. And the big question that all people say, is it possible that there is life on other planets? And that is the big question now. Some scientists say that they have received some kind of a strange language or transmission from other species outside the Earth. Others say no, there is no clear and final evidence about other life form on some other planets. So it's still not clear. So NASA actually has the answer for this, because NASA is the International Space Agency. So let's read about NASA and what they got. Do they have really secrets about this? Do they really know something about this? So NASA is developing the capabilities needed to send humans to an asteroid by 2025 and Mars in the 2030s. So they're trying so they have a plan. They're trying to discover Mars, either to find a way for some kind of other species who live on other planets, or to discover other planets, at least in the solar system, which may be are good for human life. So I'm going to read for you this text from which is titled, "Is There Anybody Out There?" Are we alone in the universe? Do aliens really exist? And if so, is there any way to contact them? Now, many scientists and astronomers in the 19th century were convinced that alien life forms existed. Some even claimed that they had seen signs of life on other planets. French inventor Charles Cross, for example, was convinced that the lights he had discovered on Mars indicated the existence of a major city. He tried to persuade the French government to pay for the construction of an enormous mirror, which would be used for sending signals to the Martians. The French government was not convinced that his idea would work and did not give him the money to build the mirror. During the 20th century, space travel became a reality, and scientists' methods of communicating with extraterrestrials became more sophisticated. In 1972, NASA launched an unmanned spacecraft called Pioneer 10 into the solar system. In 1977, NASA launched 2 probes into the solar system, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, in order to gather more information about Jupiter and Saturn. Today, the SETI Institute in the US continues the research for other life in the universe. The SETI gives the general public the opportunity to become involved in a search for extraterrestrials. All you have to do is download the free software from the SETI at home website, and when your computer is not in use, But connected to the internet, the software will collect data transmitted from a device located near the RCBO telescope. The data will then be sent to members of a research team so that they can analyze it and determine whether a signal has been received from extraterrestrials. In spite of our best efforts, we have yet to receive a communication from aliens, but while the possibility of finding life on other planets exists, there will always be the motivation to continue to try to make contact. So that was actually the end of the reading part, and we have seen some words in the context which were in red and underlined. So let's go back to them. Sophisticated in the second part, and determined in the fourth part. So I'm going to try to ask you to guess their meanings from the context. Of course, even teachers sometimes don't know all the meanings of the of the words, but you still can sense them. You still can feel them and know their meanings through the context, through the reading, through the topic sentence, etc. So let's guess the meaning of the underlined words. Communicating with extraterrestrials became more sophisticated. So what does the word sophisticated means here? Typical, easy, advanced, or neat. 2, they can analyze it and determine whether a signal has been received from extraterrestrials. So the first one, sophisticated, something sophisticated, something that is advanced. And to determine something is to decide on something. Okay? So the first one, sophisticated, means advanced, and the second one, determine, means decide. Now, let's do some evaluation and get some comprehension questions if you go back and read the article and choose the correct options. So, if you remember, we're going to ask a question and see how good you can remember. Why did Charles Cross want to build an enormous mirror? You remember the French inventor Charles wanted to build a mirror, a very big mirror on Earth, so he thought that he's going to receive some signals from other planets, especially on Mars, from Martians. So is it A, he wanted to receive sunlight from Mars? There's no sunlight from Mars. Or B, he wanted to create life on Mars? Mirrors don't create life on Mars. Or C, he wanted to communicate with Martians. Yes, therefore, Charles Cross wanted to build an enormous mirror, so he wanted to communicate with Martians because he was convinced about this. 2, people have been sending messages to outer space in the hope of contacting extraterrestrials. Since when? Since the 19th century, or since the 1970s, or for the past decade. You remember, people have been trying to send messages to the space in different languages, in different, forms. So some of them wanted to prove that there are extraterrestrials. So extraterrestrials, when they receive their messages, they're going to reply. So did this start in the 19th century, 1970s, or in the past decade? And of course, it was in the mid of the 1970s. You remember this spaceship called Pioneer 10? It was sent by NASA and it was built to go for what? Was made of gold? Had no astronauts? Or C, included interesting information about extraterrestrials. So Pioneer 10 was unmanned, so if it's unmanned, it means has nobody there, has no astronauts. It's just almost a space robot with no people on it. Now remember, some people can help doing something with finding and contacting extraterrestrials or aliens outside the Earth. So also people can do this by downloading the SETI at home software personal computers, so they can what? A. Assist in a search for signals from alien life forms. B. Send messages to extraterrestrials. C. Contact NASA. So what they're gonna do? They have the software, they can download it, and they can do what? Chat with, aliens. Imagine you can chat with aliens and they can chat with you like, hey, hello, people on Earth. No. So it was to assist in the search of, alien form lives or extraterrestrials or aliens outside the Earth. Oh, that was quick. So let's remember what we've done today. So first, we tried to get some reading for you. It was about NASA and about all the rumors and the facts about, alien formed life outside the Earth or extraterrestrials. You can see too many, movies or some, shots or films about, some people caught this on a camera, other people caught this in a camera, and all of these footages and films are false. So we tried to guess the meaning of some words from reading about aliens and about extraterrestrials. We had some words like determined, we had some words like sophisticated, and we had too many words. Actually, if you go back to the dictionary, you can check them. Two, we read for specific details, and I asked you about some reading comprehension questions like who made this and who made that. And finally, these were some reading skills for you. We call them skimming and scanning and skimming. Also, we call them, remembering the facts about the text and how you get a meaning of words through context. And also, it's about how you can find the meaning or guess the meaning or feel the meaning of a word which you don't know throughout the context, through the meaning of the whole text. These are the resources for you and the references. And for more information and lessons, you can visit our website, ayinedu.com, and you can follow us on Twitter for more updates and information and news. And also, you can contact us on this number, which if you have any technical problem. Thank you for watching this. Until I meet you again, have a good day and assalamu alaikum.